Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. I am your host, KPZ, on a game I recorded Monday afternoon. Hopefully, you're watching this Wednesday morning. We are in the new Tier 4 Premium Destroyer, the Hill. Now, the Hill in this game and the Hill in real life were armored totally differently, totally different weapons. I'm not going to really get into that other than I don't know how Wargaming came up with the armament for the ship because the Hill was a destroyer escort that didn't really have the weapons it has in this game. But whatever. I'm sure somewhere there was a blueprint written on a cocktail napkin that said the Hill had 5 guns and 3x3 torpedo launchers. Honest, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You don't believe me? Just Google USS Hill for yourself. Read the Wikipedia link. This ship didn't have the armament that it does in this game. Okay, maybe it did supposedly supposed to have once, but in real life, no, it did not. All right, we're moving out here. Domination match, or I'm sorry, capture the base match. Really unusual for us to be doing a destroyer game in the capture the base match. There's a quick look at the guns of the Hill. Not necessarily very long range. The base traits of the Hill compared to the Farragut. The Hill has a half a second or longer reload, and the Hill has 3x3 torpedo launchers, where the Farragut has 2x4s. Speaking of a Farragut, we see a Farragut. We're launching torpedoes at a Farragut. We're shooting at a Farragut. The Farragut was not shooting back. Please keep doing that, Farragut. There he goes. He finally shoots at us, but it is too late.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Yes, sir. Enemy destroyer blown up. First blood, devastating strike, kill number 1 in the Hill.
All
This is about
stations,
my 5th game
reporting
in the
position
Hill, I
of a
want to say.
strategic target.
I I've started with Mordoff in there, and then I switched it to Gleaves after I had a comment reading session with Alec Trev off Reddit. So I switched to Gleaves, and I spec this thing for torpedoes. You could really spec this either way, just like the Summers. It can go either way. Wyoming over here, Nikolai over here, really hoping our aircraft carrier will target the Nikolai. If you are an aircraft carrier commander and there's a ship with abysmally low AA values, like the Nikolai, AA value of 6, you need to target that ship and take it out of the game ASAP. So I was hoping the aircraft carrier commander would catch on to that. He did not. Now, when you're playing a destroyer like the Hill or like the Farragut or like the Mahan, you have to get very comfortable operating at the edge of your torpedo range, the edge of your detectability. As you can see there, we were spotted by the Nikolai, we were spotted by the Wyoming because I was trying to get close enough to launch torpedoes. And as you can see, the Nikolai, we set him on fire, and that's great and everything. I think he damage conned it right there. But he sped up and he moved out of the way of our torpedoes. So when you're in this kind of ship, this is the biggest reason to use Gleaves. You're going to get a little bit longer range on your torpedoes. You're going to get a little bit faster torpedo reload, and you're going to get a lower concealability or lower detectability, pardon me. So it's going to allow you a little more wiggle room
Engine
when we're
booster
talking about
reactivated.
that detectability versus torpedo range. All right, so the Nikolai's going to take off here, and we're really not keen about chasing him down. Nikolai is a very powerful
Concentrate
ship. I
fire on
like it a lot.
designated target.
We're just going to have to save the Nikolai for later. So over here, we've killed the only other destroyer over here. In fact, the red team doesn't have any destroyers left. So our job as a gunboat is done. So at this point, and I hate to say this, the one weak spot of gunboats that nobody ever talks about in
Attention,
this game
reporting the target position.
is if you are like the Hill and you already burned one smokescreen, you only have one smokescreen left. So you only have one smokescreen in which to farm HE damage from a ship, unless you're going to be doing open water gunboating. And at this tier and at this distance, I'm not comfortable doing that. So we're going to torp out here at the Wyoming, as you can see again, 4.9, just on the cusp of our detectability. But that's what you have to do to get torpedoes off. And let's face it, we all know that if you're in a gunboat, even though it's a gunboat, the best way to do damage in this game is with torpedoes. So if you have torpedoes, you need to use them. And so if you gave me a ship, the guns and torpedoes are about equal. I'm going to lean to the torpedoes because that's the best way to do damage. Okay. So as you can see here, we catch the Wyoming with a couple of our
Structure power.
torpedoes. Kill number two. All right, so the only ship left over here is the
Concentrate fire on the
Nikolai.
enemy
It's like
warship.
a 3-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Aircraft carrier finally targeting the Nikolai. What took you so long? What took you so long, aircraft carrier commander? You should have been lighting this thing up like a Roman candle with an AA value of 6. Okay? And note to anybody who plays aircraft carriers and watches this channel, you see an Arkansas in the game, it has an A rating of 0. If that is not the ship you focus on and take out in the beginning of the game, you are making a mistake. Just my 2 cents. Just the 2 cents of an average player in this slightly above average ship review. We'll get tired of waiting for stuff to happen. So I am going to get into range and I am going to start gunboating the Nikolai in open water. I'm doing that because he's dealing with one, two other battleships, and I feel confident I can get away with this. Now, what you're seeing here is the extremely low fire chance of US destroyer guns. They're only 5%. So I'm just launching these torpedoes as a scare tactic. But at the end of the day, he is turning his attention away from the battleships and he's aiming his guns towards me, which is not reassuring. So we're going to turn and go bow on, give him a little bit of a lesser profile. But I have not set the Nikolai on fire yet. And that's the other problem with gunboats. If you're in a US gunboat and you have a low fire chance, how are you going to get damage if you're not setting them on fire? Well, you got to hit them with torpedoes, right? So that's that. I mean, look, there's only so many destroyers in a game. There's only so many destroyers you can go head to head with and win. There's only so many hit points that a destroyer has, which means you're not going to be doing a lot of damage. All right, we're continuing to gunboat the Nikolai, and even though he's aiming at us and threatening us with those guns, at the end of the day, the ships he is not paying attention to are the ones that end up finishing him off. We do take a little damage there, but not a lot due to our bow on profile. All right, so at this point, we've got three ships
Engine
left,
activated.
and we are pretty dominating lead here, 6-3 lead. We've got a comfortable, I don't know, 270, 65 point lead. So it's time for us to just let it all hang out. We're in this new ship, the Hill. On the very first day it came out, we are going to see what we can get done here. All right, this looks like another Wyoming, and over there is a Koenig, and then somewhere else is the aircraft carrier. So while we're sailing over there, the Hill is a lesser gunboat than the Farragut. This is the wargaming theory that they put into practice in World of Tanks console. Any former World of Tanks players out there, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? So the theory in World of Tanks console was that a premium tank should not be as good as its tech tree
All
counterpart.
stations,
And so when you
requesting
look at the
fire on
Farragut,
designated target.
it has a faster main battery reload. It has a different torpedo arrangement, 2x4s instead of 3x3s. But I think you could argue, just based on the reload alone, the Farragut is a superior ship. Here we're going to engage the Wyoming, just trying to set him on fire. We're also going to torp out because he did turn back into our torp range, and that's good for us. He's aiming at somebody else. That's good for us. These are all the opportunities that you need as a quasi gunboat to use your guns, right? And we're getting in further torp range because if need be, I can turn back on the other side and use my other side launcher because you got one in the middle and two wing launchers here on the hill, kind of similar to Le Fantasque. All right. So we do set them on fire, but there's the coup de
You
grace.
destroyed an enemy
Two torpedo
battleship. Taking the
strikes,
lead.
kill number three on the other one. So at this point, I'm looking at the
Engine
map
boost
and I
deactivated.
think to myself, the aircraft carrier's got to be closer than the Koenig. Now, here, friendly ship in the cap. If you're in this scenario, the only reason to go into the cap when you have a huge lead in ships and a huge lead in points is to force the enemy to come to the cap to defend it. But if that does not happen, you should leave the cap to let your enemy or let your teammates get kills and get damaged. So here we're lighting up the Langley. You can see, even though we are 8.3 kilometers away, HE citadels can occur on aircraft carriers if you aim properly, which we are not really doing for most of this footage, but that is neither here nor there. We are going to keep shooting, as you can see, got all our guns lined up here. And I'm just going to do what's called studious ignoring. I'm just going to ignore the airplanes until the very last second. I'm definitely going to ignore the battleship. There you see another hit to Citadel. We disabled something, although maybe his engine looks like based on the smokestack. There's the last second dodge of his bombers. So that worked out well for us. We're just going to keep pouring the fire in here because I'm worried about getting kill pinched, and that is a valid um, thing, at least for me, as a notorious kill pincher. I'm always worried about being kill pinched. Anyway, another hit to Citadel and kill number
Enemy
4.
aircraft
So,
carrier.
surprise, everybody, surprise. I did not put the Kraken Unleashed icon on the title card because sometimes in life you want to be surprised. This is the best kind of surprise that I'm giving you, especially my 125 loyal subscribers. I'm going to give you the gift of a day one Kraken in the hill. We're going to send both racks, and that Koning is dead. Although it does kill me after. Whatever. Tough, tough grapes. Is that what you say? Sour grapes. Tough luck. Anyway, I'll take it. You can kill me, Koning. That's cool. Thanks for the Kraken Unleashed. All right, here we are on my favorite screen, the victory screen. Kraken Unleashed medal, high caliber medal, two, count them, two devastating strikes, and the first blood medal. We ended up with 104,092 total damage, 10 big torpedo strikes, 5 kills, 3 hits to Citadel, over 300,000 silver, 4184 ship XP and commander XP. Does this validate the use of Gleaves as the commander for this ship? You tell me in the comments. All right, there we are at the top of the board, 2145 base XP. That number not particularly impressive because we were not in a domination match. But I'll take it. I'll take it with those 5 big kills, you know? All right, in a second here, we're going to go into the port, take a look at the ship. Just one upgrade, the aiming system mod 1. I don't really know why you would use any of the other ones. Got 2 charges of the smoke generator, 2 charges of the engine boost. If you're familiar with US destroyers, you've seen that song before. The common battle booster for speed, the Type 9 permanent camo, and the Independence Day 21 flag. That's how we roll out in the hill. Stats 10,890 hit points. Got those 127 millimeter guns, 10.1 kilometer firing range, 5.3 second reload with our build, 12-second turn time. HE shells do 1,800 damage with a 5% fire chance. AP shells do 2,100 damage. Taking a look at the torpedo armament, three triple tube launchers, reload in 58.1 seconds, max damage 11,733, 5.8 kilometer range at 60 knots, and detectability 1,100 meters. If you have a maxed out Gleaves, you might be able to get to that range to 6 kilometers, which would only help you. All right, AA defense. I'd say this is almost on the cusp of respectability. You can see your main battery is dual purpose and does count as AA. And maneuverability, 40.9 knots in the water, 560-meter turning circle, 3.1 second rudder shift time, and concealment 4.9 on the surface, 2.7 from the air, 2.3 when firing in smoke. I am not really going to wax on and on about our commander build. Here it is up on the screen. Just want to point out in the fourth row, destroy or be destroyed. That is the skill that is going to separate you from Mordoff and allow you to recoup a little bit of what you lose in gun reload with subsurface venture. You're going to make that up in speed using destroy or be destroyed. And the shell grouping to me really doesn't matter because you are going to be fighting at close range in a US destroyer. Just one man's opinion. All right, I'm going to get you guys out of here in less than 15 minutes. If you enjoyed that video or if you enjoyed that crack, and hit that like button, you can always subscribe for more slightly above average ship reviews, and I'll keep bringing them to you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.